Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back today with part 2 of my Dollar Tree haul from Black Friday. So it was an incredible day to pick up some movies for super cheap. And so I went nuts, as I tend to do in these situations. So I showed 31 movies in part 1, so definitely check that out if you've not seen that part yet. And I have another 31 to talk about today that I was able to find at my Dollar Tree. So these are all only $1 each. So of course, I grabbed some things that I normally wouldn't grab because they're so cheap. So that's why I end up going nuts on these all the time, but whatever, it is what it is. So I'll talk DVDs first, and then we'll move over to Blu-rays at the end of the video, as I always do. So let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in. As I mentioned in my part 1, I'm going to try to go through these as quickly as I possibly can just because there's so many to talk about. So there will be no trailers for this one, unfortunately, but those will be back for my normal haul videos at the end of the month. So keep that in mind moving forward here. So first up, we have Straight Outta Oakland 1 and Straight Outta Oakland 2. So initially I thought that these would be something like a mockbuster, if you will, of the Straight Outta Compton movies, or movie, but it's not. These don't sound like they're similar at all. It sounds like just a group of men that are in an Oakland neighborhood that has now, become the hood, as it says on the back here, and kind of their efforts to escape that, I believe. So yeah, I'll be very interested to see how these actually are. Not something I would normally pick up, but I was able to find the second one, and I said, well, you know what, if I can see the first one here, I'm going to grab both of them. And sure enough, they were both here. So I decided to pick up Straight Outta Oakland and Straight Outta Oakland 2. Initially, I thought this was a movie called Beast Legends, but I think it's actually like a BBC documentary of, like, they've created these creatures like the griffin, wild men, and dragons, and so it's kind of like a what-if situation. So I don't know, it's not what I thought it was, but hopefully it'll be still pretty cool. So the Beast Legends, and this one was released in 2010, it looks like. So I'll be interested in checking this one out. If you guys watched my Dollar Tree videos from last month, you might know that I found a Danny Trejo double feature. Well, I found another Danny Trejo film. This is called The Night Crew. And this one looks like it is just a group of people that they have 12 hours to keep her alive, is what it says on the top there. So they're trying to keep somebody alive, so it sounds pretty interesting. It's just another action vehicle starring Danny Trejo, so hopefully it'll be pretty fun. So The Night Crew, and this one was released in 2014. So these next 4 are all kind of like dystopian or post-apocalyptic sci-fi films, so I've included them all together. And first up, we have, simply enough, Dystopia. So this one sounds pretty interesting. It's the year 2037. There is a virus that has taken over the planet. Then there's not been a child that's been born for like 25 years or something, so it feels very Children of Men, which I adore. So we'll check this one out. It sounds pretty interesting, and it's, a genre that I tend to enjoy. So first one was Dystopia. I said 4, but I guess it was only 3. But the second one is Z for Zachariah. And this is actually based on a novel, which I happened to come across a few days ago in some store. I saw it. And I knew I heard of the film, but I didn't realize it was a book. So I'm interested in checking this one out. I don't own the book, but hopefully I will be able to get that at some point. So this is another just a post-apocalyptic film where they are trying to survive, essentially. So sounds pretty interesting to me. And then finally, with that post-apocalyptic theme, we have a triple feature, the End of the World triple feature. So we have Goodbye World, Blood Rain, and After the Dark. And I'm going to be honest with you, Blood Rain, of course, is based on the video game. So I think this is actually a Yui Boll film also, like I talked about in my first video. I have to verify that. But I didn't realize Blood Rain was a post-apocalyptic film at all. I thought that was just some like vampire-y video game, and so I figured the film would be the same. Clearly I might be wrong, but yeah, so these look interesting. Goodbye World and After the Dark, at least. So I'm definitely interested in checking out this post-apocalyptic triple feature. This next one is a sci-fi film from 2018 called The Dawn Seeker, and it has a really cool character on the front there, and it sounds like it's a mix of like Alien and Predator. The Earth is dying, and so this group of 5 travel to another planet, and they are stalked by this, I'm assuming, this creature. So it sounds, like I said, like a mix of something like Predator meets Alien, so it should be pretty fun. So this one, like I said, was from 2018, The Dawn Seeker. And then we have Alien Arrival. So this one obviously is going to be an alien, or no, you know what? I think it's actually him traveling. I think he is the alien, kind of like the Martian. But yeah, so this one should be pretty cool. It looks decent enough on the back. Just one of those kind of low budget, probably not so great independent sci-fi films, which is going to be both of these. So Alien Arrival, and that one was released in 2014, and then The Dawn Seeker from 2018. All right, so moving on to the horror films I found. This is one I was actually quite surprised I didn't own, but this is The Final Girls, and it has Nina Dobrev from Vampire Diaries, has whoever this guy is from Pitch Perfect. I don't know his name. It's one of these people listed on the top there, I'm sure. But yeah, this looks like a slasher film. Obviously, it's called The Final Girls. Of course, it's going to be a slasher film, but I know it's a slasher comedy, so very intrigued to check this one out. I've heard kind of good things about this one, so very excited to have this one in the collection now. So The Final Girls, and this one was released in 2015, it looks like. Next up, we have a anthology film called Ghost Stories. So this, like I said, there are 3 films in here. They're all going to be, paranormal or haunting related. So it sounds like it should be pretty fun. And actually, this is a Scream Factory release also, and it's certified fresh. So, there's that. So yeah, it's very intrigued to check out Ghost Stories, which is a horror anthology. Let's be honest, this one's probably going to be terrible, but that's okay. It's called Nun's Deadly Confessions, or Confession. So this is one that reminded me of some movies I grabbed last month during my haul, and so I had to pick it up, but it just looks not very good. It's from 2019, and what blows my mind is that it is almost 2 hours long. Like, who is making low-budget independent horror films that are almost 2 hours long? That is insane to me. So I'm intrigued just because it's so long. I want to see if it can hold my attention. So Nun's Deadly Confession from 2019. This is likely the film I would watch first from this haul because it's just right up my alley. I love this. This is called Home Invasion, and this one was released in 2015, it looks like. So I love home invasion films. It's one of my favorite subgenres of horror, and this one sounds really cool. It is a woman and her son that are in their remote mansion, and then these expert thieves break in. So very interested in checking out Home Invasion from 2015. I knew there was another one from that post-apocalyptic genre that I left out, and that it's here now, Future World, which if you look at it, it looks just like really dumb and bad, but look at the cast. Mila Jovovich, James Franco, so another James Franco film, and Lucy Liu are in this. Like, that's crazy. Now, it of course could be a situation where they're in there for like 2 minutes each, and so they put them on the cover to sell this, but hey, it worked because I bought it. But yeah, I don't know. This sounds really cool just because of the cast, so I'm very intrigued to check out Future World. I was excited to find these two because I saw these in a pickup video from somebody like months and months ago, but I hadn't seen any of them in my store. We have Lake Fear and Lake Fear 3. So unfortunately, I don't have Lake Fear 2, so I will have to track that one down so I have the full collection. But yeah, this, I had to pick it up because it was the first and the third in a series. So looks like it is a, kind of a remote cabin haunting film, something like Evil Dead, something along those lines. So yeah, very excited to have Lake Fear and Lake Fear 3 in the collection. If you guys know where I can find Lake Fear 2, let me know down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate that. But either way, next up is Stalled. So this looks like a zombie comedy film. It's kind of in the vein of like Shaun of the Dead, something like that. And actually it says up there, worthy successor to Shaun of the Dead. So that's pretty lofty praise. So hopefully it can live up to that. But yeah, this one sounds really interesting. And I wouldn't imagine that this one has another title because I feel like I've heard of this before, but I feel like I had a different title. So I'll be interested to check that out once I get around to it. So Stalled, and this one came out in, 2012 it looks like. We have another Scream Factory release, which always gets me excited. This is The Devil's Dolls, and this one was released in 2016, it looks like. So this cover, super familiar to me. Like, I know it as being a Scream Factory release, but other than that, I don't really know much about it, but it sounds really interesting. It looks really cool. So I guess a serial killer's curse unleashes a season of slaughter in the backwoods of this Mississippi town. So I don't know. It sounds interesting, and it's a Scream Factory release. Unfortunately, it is the DVD, of course, but who knows? If I can find the Blu-ray cheap, I only paid $1 for this, so I can upgrade, without feeling too bad about it down the line if I want to. So The Devil's Dolls, and this one was released, like I said, in 2016. If I had to make a guess on which of these films is going to be kind of the underrated gem of the bunch, it would be this one. This is called The Ranger, and this one was released in 2019. So this looks like or at least what I'm hoping, is going to be a slasher film that takes place in a park. It looks like this group of kids that went to a punk concert and then they decided to hang out in the woods afterwards, and then the Ranger shows up. So very interested in this one. I have a feeling this could be the hidden gem from the bunch. So very interested to check out The Ranger from 2019. This is one that, frankly, if I would have read the description before I bought it, I may not have bought it, but the cover caught my attention. So this is The Girl in the Crawl Space. It has an awesome cover, looks like something that would be right up my alley. But then looking at it, I don't know. So a woman has escaped a serial killer. Obviously, she was the girl in the crawl space. She escaped him, though. But down the line, her husband wants to use her story for a screenplay because he's not doing too well as a screenwriter. And that kind of, brings back bad memories, I'm assuming, but it also puts their lives in jeopardy. So I don't know. It sounds okay, I guess, but if I would have read the description, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, when I'm going through these movies at Dollar Tree, I probably would have tossed this one back. But either way, the cover looks great. So there's that. The Girl in the Crawl Space, and this one was released in 2018. Here's another BBC one, and this is called Save Our Skins. So this is actually a comedy, a sci-fi comedy. There are two guys that are supposed to basically save the world, but they are idiots. It's like says on the back here, what if the last men left on Earth were idiots? So, I don't know, should be pretty good. Sometimes British comedy works for me, other times it doesn't, so hopefully this will be one that does, but I'm interested to check it out. So, Save Our Skins, and it looks like this one was released in 2015. So I don't think these two are actually related at all, but they have very similar names, and it's a number 2 and a number 3 in a series, so I'm going to show them together. So first up, we have Ouija Resurrection, which is Ouija Experiment 2, as you can see there. And then we have Ouija 3. This is called the Charlie Challenge, okay? So yeah, like I said, I don't think these are actually like number 2 and number 3 of the same series, but they're so similar, I wanted to show them together, so we'll check these out. I know I believe at least that I have the Ouija Experiment 1 somewhere in my collection here. I just don't know exactly where. So I think I have 1 and 2 of that, and I don't know if I have the others of this, but yeah, we'll see if these are even related or if they're just completely separate. So Ouija 3, the Charlie Challenge, and Ouija the Ouija Resurrection, the Ouija, oh my gosh, this is so difficult to say. The Ouija Resurrection, Ouija Experiment 2. A ridiculous title, but yeah, I bought these two. So those were actually the last 2 DVDs I grabbed. So now let's jump over to the Blu-rays, and I'm really excited because I have the first 3 here I'm going to show you are all Nicolas Cage films, so that's always fun. So first up, with the slipcover, we have Trespass, and this is starring Nicole Kidman and Nicolas Cage, and I think this is a thriller. It's from the director of Phone Booth, which I just saw, which I love Phone Booth, so that's cool. But I think it is a thriller. A group of vicious criminals storm the Miller estate in search of Kyle's diamonds. Yeah, so it's a thriller, so that should be interesting. And then we have Left Behind, the remake, which I'll be 100% honest with you, I hate these movies, but my wife likes them, so I figured I would pick it up. But I mean, look at Nick Cage, like, just look at that. Soak that in. That is fantastic, the way he looks. But anyway, yeah, so these are the Left Behind films. I'm sure you know what those are. I won't talk too much about them. And then the last one is Outcast, which it looks like really cool because it's set in like a Knights of the Templar era. I don't know history, don't ask me. But yeah, so this one looks like a lot of fun. And this one was from 2015. So we have Trespassed, Left Behind, and Outcast. So can't go wrong when you find some cheap Nick Cage. So this is going to be a lot of fun. This next one is so random, but it's like a mix of what sounds like a political thriller mixed with like a sci-fi movie. So this is called The Shadow Effect. And I guess one of these characters has a waking dream of assassinating a political figure. And so they are trying to stop that from happening. I don't know, but it has an actor who I recognize. I believe it's Jonathan Rhys Meyers. You can see him on the back there. He's super familiar. I cannot place where I know him from offhand right here. And I'm filming on my phone, so I can't check there, and I don't have my laptop near me, so we're just going to run with it. You guys might know him. If you do, let me know down in the comments below, or I'll put it here if I look it up while I'm editing. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this is. It has a good actor in it at least. So The Shadow Effect, and like I said, this one was from 2016. You can't go wrong with Viola Davis and Jennifer Lopez. We have Lila and Eve, I guess. So basically, these two come together because they both experience the loss of their child due to violence. The police are proving inept, and so they decide to become vigilantes and take justice into their own hands. This sounds awesome. Like, has an awesome cast. These are both wonderful actresses, so I'm very intrigued to check out Lila and Eve. This is a cool one because I remember seeing the trailer for this and thinking that it looked really funny. So this is called Fist Fight, and this was released in 2017. So the cast is great. Ice Cube, Charlie Day, Tracy Morgan, Jillian Bell, very funny actors in here. Ice Cube's fantastic. Like, this is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So this one is about these two teachers who are basically trying to survive the last day of school. They're both high school teachers, so there's senior pranks going on. Eventually, one of them crosses paths with this other teacher, and they decide decide they're going to fight. And so it's kind of like an after school fight thing. So I don't know, it sounds stupid, but it sounds funny. So we'll check out Fist Fight from 2017. Next up is a movie called The Sweeney. And this is one that I recognize from my video store days. I'd never seen it, and frankly, I never really heard people talk about it, but I remember it sitting on the shelf and thinking, that's a film that looks pretty decent. So yeah, we'll check this one out. It sounds just like a typical action film. These group of people, it's the Sweeney Flying Squad, and they're an elite crime fighting force. I'm assuming that's who our characters here on the front, and they're essentially trying to stop crime, so sounds pretty interesting. So, The Sweeney. And last but not least, we have a double feature. This one sounds interesting. We have Age of Heroes and Blood of Redemption. So Age of Heroes stars Sean Bean, and then Blood of Redemption stars Dolph Lundgren, which is really the only reason I grabbed this. And you get a double feature on Blu-ray for 50 cents a movie. You can't beat that. But Age of Heroes, it looks like it is a World War II action epic. And then Blood of Redemption is a film. It sounds like a person basically trying to escape their past and move on with their lives, but they're having difficulties doing so. So yeah, just a couple action films to round out the lot here. So Age of Heroes and Blood of Redemption double feature is the last film that I grabbed from Dollar Tree this Black Friday. All right, and there they are. So that is going to do it for all of the movies that I found on Black Friday at Dollar Tree. It was an awesome day. So between this video and the last one, there were 62 items, which is just ridiculous. But hey, you know, as cheap as it was worth it. So let me know down in the comments below, what have you been able to find at Dollar Tree lately? I love to hear what you guys find, and then hopefully I can find it myself in the future. So let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to have more of a conversation with you guys down there. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to Cinefessions here on YouTube. And if not, well, thank you anyway for watching this video. I really do appreciate that. And as I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media, be it books, movies, video games, graphic novels. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.